Hello and welcome back to the Yes Year podcast. I am your spooky host, James. That's right. This week I'm spooky instead of you.
I'm not spooky?
You're not spooky. But you are my always hauntingly awesome co-host, Beth. You like that?
I want to be spooky.
No, you're haunting.
Why can't you be the hauntingly awesome?
Sorry.
Oh,
Taken.
boo.
Taken. So, Beth, we made it through another week, and it's been quite a week.
I'm living.
Yeah? First, let me ask you, as I always do, how are you doing? Any new exciting information to give? Any fun facts, maybe?
My chair is broken currently. It keeps falling backwards.
Oh.
No, I don't have any cool information.
Huh. Got mutton?
I get paid on Monday.
Well, that's
Making
good.
the money.
Make the money. Spend
the money.
Don't spend too much money.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I got some of my work done early this week for school, which was new.
That's good.
Gonna try to do that next week. Think I can.
As a trend, we're gonna
try.
That's good.
It was nice because I realized that it doesn't take as much time as I thought it did.
Yeah.
I actually got 2 assignments done while watching this movie.
Well, that's not focusing.
Oh no, but I was multitasking.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know how the review's gonna be.
The review's there.
And then the critters quadratic equate. Wait a minute.
I didn't do math. I did English.
Anglais.
And science. Took a quiz.
Science.
Got a 78.
How do you say science in Spanish?
I don't know. I'm not Spanish.
I think it's just science.
I don't want to assume.
Oh. Well, I do have
science.
What?
L silent science.
El Scienzo.
That's not what I said. That's not even close to what I said. I just said L science. You added some O's in there. What's it in French? You took French.
Science.
Is it really?
No, it's not. Don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't remember
questions anymore.
I'm sorry. Chucky in French is Chucky.
Je m'appelle Chucky.
Chucky. I do have exciting news about the show. We've been picked up as part of the Fourth Hand Media Network, which is super cool. I know that some of you are in the same boat as Beth and saying, "Why is this good news?" But just trust me, it's good. It's a good thing. So along with that, it's been just a good week overall. I think just for weeks wise. Freaky noise. You good over there?
That was not me, man. That was not me.
Oh, okay.
It's the ghost.
The ghost. The ghost showed up and made a frog noise.
I don't know what that was.
If I edited it, I would not edit that out. I'd leave it in there because that was weird.
I think it was just the equipment.
Oh, the equipment had a noise. Okay.
I didn't make a noise, pal.
So this week we continue with our spooky episode reviews, and it's going to be doing
spooky equipment today.
It's spooky equipment.
It's a haunted frog,
and we're doing critters. This movie is something else, man. In my opinion, I remember this movie coming out, and it really did freak me out as a kid. Again, I'm sure watching the movie now as an adult, people are probably like, "But why?" I was like 8 years old when it came out, and I was watching it for the first time, and those stinking things seemed to be dang near invincible when it comes to fighting them as a kid, like as a regular Joe. Like I didn't have a gun as a kid. I was outside a lot and there was a lot of exposure for me. And these things come,
from
outside.
They're everywhere.
Right. And if they came to my house and like I was portly and slow. So that really works against me when it comes to survival.
What does portly mean?
It means fat.
You mean porky?
Yeah. Hefty. I was hefty. I wore size husky.
I see nothing changed.
No, but as a kid, that's really embarrassing. You had small, medium,
I know it's
large,
embarrassing.
Husky.
They have husky for them?
They had husky.
I just got small, medium, large, too fat.
Wear sweats.
You have this shirt and a bigger size? No, porky.
No. Why, does your mom need a shirt? No. I don't want it anymore.
Does my mom need a shirt? That's rough.
I'm not saying this because you're a little kid.
I want to speak to the manager.
My manager. So this was one of those movies that we rented multiple times when I was young, as well as the sequel, Critters 2, obviously.
Good name.
I'm not sure about parts 3 and 4 or the remake because I never watched them.
Well, we own all of them now.
We do. We don't own the remake, but we do own 1 through 4. But this movie really did freak me out. So, for you, your initial impression of what the movie was going to be like, preview artwork, all that
I
jazz?
thought it was going to be terrible from what it sounded like. Didn't think that I was going to like it at all. Because I was expecting like a Gremlins kind of movie, which I've never seen either. But I don't really like. I mean, but I know what happens in that movie. I just never seen it. I don't really like movies with like paranormal alien stuff as we've seen. So I was just like, okay, well, aliens come down, blah blah blah. There, bunch of them, whatever. So it's kind of like, eh. There was a 51 rotten potato.
Oh my gosh.
Rotten Tomatoes, and a 6.1 on the IMDb. So I was like, meh.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And did you watch the trailer that came with the movie?
No.
Because the trailer comes with the movie.
I didn't see that.
Did you watch the trailer though?
I watched a trailer.
I watched the trailer too.
I've
been watching it so that way we can discuss it.
I thought the trailer was really good for setting up the movie. I just wouldn't go see it, so I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Did you 3 out of 5 isn't bad.
No, I mean it was a really good trailer.
How'd you like the music in it? Because it was Freddy-esque.
Yeah, I really don't ever listen to music. But I've been trying to. So you know the movies I've been watching at work, you mentioned this last week. I've been watching a lot of Disney movies while I'm at work, so just trying to get a feel for
not working.
I've been working, okay? I have it playing in the background.
Yeah.
Again, procrastinating. Multitasking, thank you.
Yes.
Not procrastinating.
Gotcha.
But I've been trying to listen more to the sound and the music. Because I asked everyone, I was asking around at my coworkers, I was like, "Oh, what's your favorite Disney movie?" And I got somebody said Cars. Yeah. 2 of them said Cars but on the soundtrack, and I was like, I've seen Cars multiple times. Yeah, it's not a bad movie. It's not one I'd like to go see.
It's not my favorite.
I just think that he sucks. The little red car,
Speed McQueen.
Yeah, ka-chow. But the soundtrack is really good. It's really good songs.
Really?
Yeah. So I enjoyed the sounds. But I've been trying to listen more to the noise.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what I need you to do.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
But, yeah, I wouldn't watch based on any of the stuff. The trailer, the DVD, or the poster.
Not even with the little...
No, I wouldn't go see it.
Okay.
I'd be like, what are these little bush things?
Little bush things. So Critters is a sci-fi comedy horror film that was released on April 11th, 1986. So before you were born.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. A couple years. It comes from New Line Cinema. Of course, we know New Line Cinema gave us such greats as A Nightmare on Elm Street.
I've seen that.
Yeah, recently.
Yeah.
I would say that this cast isn't anything special other than Dee Wallace, who was known for such great movies as like The Howling and Cujo and E.T. That made a scene where the Krites actually tear up an E.T. doll, like even more funny. Like when he's sitting there poking at it and then just...
He's like, hello? Where are you from?
Oh.
And then he's like poking at it and then just starts eating. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So, I will say this though, Scott Grimes, who plays Brad, is one of my favorite voice actors from a little known as American Dad.
Oh, really?
He's the voice of Steve Smith on there and is a character that looks just like he does in the movie. So that makes it fun for me.
Which one's that? I'm trying to think.
Steve.
No, I'm Steve from American Dad.
Steve from American Dad.
I'm saying what
is voiced by Brad, the little boy, the little red-haired boy. Yeah, so he looks just like. No.
Are you sure it's not Fred?
Positive.
Are you sure this? Yeah. God.
So.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. We also see a very young Billy Zane in this movie, who went on to make movies like The Phantom or Titanic.
Never seen those.
Have you ever seen Titanic?
No.
He makes good and bad movies. Like, he makes, like, again, he was in Titanic, which everybody's like, oh, Titanic. And then he was in other movies that just aren't that good. Yeah. So he hits or miss. He was in Back to the Future Part 2.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh.
Haven't seen Part 1.
Well, he's in, I don't know if he's in Part 1, but I know he's in Part 2. I can't remember. Critters had a $2 million budget and grossed over $13 million. So it's no wonder they decided to make sequels of it, because it's, I guess, a cheap and easy movie to make, and
I guess so.
Makes movies money. People come and watch the money.
Get the money.
Get the money.
Spend the money.
Yes.
Coined.
I also enjoy the tagline for the movie, which is, they bite.
I didn't like that. Yeah, I actually thought that was really crap.
It is.
Because it plays at the end of the trailer, it says, and don't worry, they bite. And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Garbage.
So, the movie is about a group of vicious aliens called Krites that escape a space prison and land on a small farm to feed that's on Earth.
Relatable. Done that. Been there, done that. What's up, my brothers?
They are also being chased by 2 bounty hunters that can shapeshift. Yeah. I also want to throw this out there, though. The work that's done on this is by the Chiodo brothers. And you know why we know them? Any reason? You don't remember? Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I'm so bad with names. Oh, the balloon dogs.
Yeah, that's why I figured you might
love the balloon dogs.
Yeah, so the Killer Clowns, all the puppetry and stuff like that, they did that. They also did Critters. And we actually talked about Critters when we did that movie and said, we'll review that one day. And now we are.
Oh, wow.
Full circle, man.
In the future. Back to the future. I actually did that today at work.
Did you?
Here's a little fun fact. I was at work today, and as I was going to get a rag, I looked at the onions, and there was a shell of one.
A husk.
A husk.
Yeah.
But it was half of a husk of a layer.
Oh.
And so I picked it up, obviously.
Yeah.
And I put it under the rag. And I went over to my coworkers, and I was like, here's a magic trick. And I was like, "Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo." And I lifted up, and I was like, oh no, onion. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Nobody else laughed.
And everybody else was just...
Nobody laughed.
Oh, yeah.
And then I took the onion, and I put it on my head. The husk.
Yeah.
And then I went up to the boss, and I was like, talking to him.
Yeah.
He was like, what time are you out? And he looked up at my hat, and he just ignored it. Because this is just who I am. And this is just expected behavior at this point. So.
They're just off. Yeah.
Yeah. I hit it. I'm going to go back for it tomorrow.
The husk?
Yes.
Nice.
I put it, well, it's a secret. I can't tell you guys. Okay. Sorry.
Don't tell.
I won't tell.
Right. Because then somebody might hear and be like, oh, I know where the husk is.
I'm going to go get it. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want that.
I don't want that.
All right. So you ready to jump into it?
Oh, yeah. And to just the preface. I am on the critter side.
Oh.
I love them. I am team critter. I was watching this movie and it just kept getting better. They are my favorite little things. I actually want one in the house. I would feed it, obviously.
Yeah,
not me. I'd feed it like some outside frogs or something. It would break my heart. But the critter, it would just get bigger. That's right.
Yeah, they just get bigger.
I'd have to trade it out.
Oh, I got you. Just keep them small.
Yeah, I gotta keep them small. But yes, maybe they're only big when they're hungry, or as they're getting fed, and then they shrink back down when they're hungry.
I got you.
Who knows? Either way, I want one. They are really cute, and they did no harm to me. The family did harm to me. I'm watching this movie, and I'm looking at this family, I'm like, ugh.
Sick face
Farmer
of the family.
Yeah. But I love it. I'm just team critter. I just want to put that out there.
That's fair.
What team are you on? Who are you rooting for? Because when you're watching these kinds of movies, the horror movies, you're like, who's gonna live, who's gonna die? Yeah. You never really know, happy ending or not. So I was rooting for them.
I have to say that entertainment-wise, the talk of the critters had me laughing. Like there's some scenes and some things happen, and then the other, and it's all.
I know exactly what you're talking about, man.
And so I have to say, entertainment-wise, the critters definitely did it for me. Mm-hmm. But I mean,
maybe you were rooting for the family.
Sure, I'm rooting for the family.
The family sucked.
So
go critters.
Or at least I was rooting for. I'm gonna keep calling him Steve.
I just called him Son. I called him Son right up until the end when I thought that Charlie said Fred.
No.
But he said Brad.
Brad. Yeah.
What a crap.
I'm team Brad. Everybody else in it.
Yeah.
But I'm team Brad because I like him. And because, again, he comes back in the sequel.
Because you can relate to him?
Yeah, he's a
little
red-haired boy, and that's all it takes. Of course, double Fred. Double Brad.
See? Fred, I'm telling you. It fits.
Yeah.
He looks like a Fred.
Yeah.
Frederick.
So, all right, guys, we have a great podcast for you to check out this week. The Pop Culture Show is one of the top pop culture podcasts around. They have the most amazing guests, seriously funny segments, and some incredible giveaways. All three of their hosts, Barnes, Leslie, and...
Cubby.
That's right, Cubby. We love that name. Have been in radio and television for many years and have tons of connections which allow them to reel in guests other podcasts just don't even have access to. And this is awesome right here. I love this. This month, the Pop Culture Show is giving away a free 4-night stay to one of the best resorts in the Caribbean, the Cap Mason Resort and Spa. To get qualified, simply listen to the Pop Culture Show. New episodes drop every Monday at 10 a.m., and you can subscribe to the Pop Culture Show on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio app, or anywhere you get your podcasts. With the latest celebrity news, funny observations from the world of pop culture, and all-around fun, this is truly a great podcast for you to check out. Seriously, guys, be sure to get over and subscribe to the Pop Culture Show. And don't forget, more information on the free vacation can be found at thepopcultureshow.com.
Let's jump into it.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. So the movie starts off in space showing prison asteroid Sector 17, which is a maximum security prison. We hear talking about the Krites, which I'm going to call them instead of saying critters.
I'd rather critters.
Would you rather me say critters?
Yeah.
So when I see Krites, I'll say critters.
Krites just weird. It's not even like you don't go criters.
No. And we see a bunch of weird aliens. Apparently, the critters steal a ship so the aliens on the asteroid get bounty hunters to hunt them down. We then open on a farm where a mother is fixing breakfast. She calls up to her kids for breakfast. The sister beats on the door to the bathroom while the brother is heating up a thermometer, most likely to fake being sick.
So, up in space, the bounty hunters are told that they're not allowed to feed. So at this point, not knowing anything about the movie, I was like, oh, gremlins. Can't eat past midnight or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, meh.
Yeah.
But I think that's just something to keep in mind.
I got you.
Because now we know that they can't eat because they get bigger.
Yeah, and I'm not spending a lot of time on the whole opening, and the opening didn't spend a whole lot of time on the opening.
No.
They could have probably spread that out to 10 minutes long of
and I
the
like
talk.
That. I like that.
I
like that it was short and sweet.
They got down to business.
Yeah.
They didn't make it about the outside.
They weren't making it about the space. It was more about Earth.
Yeah.
Right here in this farmhouse. So.
Right. So the phone rings, and it's for the daughter, April. She calls the brother, Brad, a jerk, and then goes and gets the phone. The wife yells down to the husband, who's in the basement, that breakfast is ready. Jay's the husband. He comes up and joins the family, and they eat together, discussing Steve, the new boyfriend, and the test that Brad has in school today. And they weren't trying to make it. The dynamic was kind of nice. They weren't trying to force conversation. They were talking over each other, and there was this going on and that going on, and it wasn't like they were trying to really, oh, Dad, what kind of day did you have? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, it did feel natural.
It did.
But I just didn't like, I guess, I don't know. I still didn't like the dynamic. Trying to make it, I don't know. I didn't like the dad was a farmer, and then the families are farmers. Maybe I just don't like farmers. I wouldn't be a farmer. I'd rather be a cow on the farm. I'm in a Facebook group where you're like that, actually. Cows and farmers.
Really?
Yeah, it's nice.
Weird.
We go moo.
That's weird.
But yeah, I thought it was a nice. I genuinely liked their interaction. I just didn't like them.
Okay.
So
they seem like a family. You just didn't like the family.
Yes.
Fair.
You don't like every neighbor you have.
Oh no.
I don't like when they walk down the middle of the road and then won't get out of the way behind them.
Right. The more leaves they get on the
I
road, the more they start to walk out into the middle of the road as well.
You don't walk through the leaves. Oh my gosh. So I was walking home one year. Sorry, not to keep going off. But I was like, I'm going to walk through the leaves because, ooh, aesthetic.
Yeah.
And there's these little red bugs that jumped out of them.
Oh no.
It was horrible. I was like, oh my gosh.
You have to be careful.
My whole life.
I bet. Driving on leaves too.
Oh,
especially when it's wet,
slid.
you can slide.
Yeah.
Just be careful.
Yeah, I avoid the leaves. I had a close call with sliding. And then so I've been telling everyone about it, obviously.
Yeah.
For the attention.
My life was between
That's exactly how I said it. I was in class. I was in English, and I was like, "Yeah, Wednesday. I almost died, by the way." Real dramatic, like. But a lot of people told me about their experiences in return, and they were like, "Yeah, don't drive on leaves." And I was like, "No, I don't want to drive on leaves."
Well, I'm glad that people are telling you that because that is for sure. I did tell you that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, we'll continue. So the family keeps discussing a man named Charlie as well. It keeps coming up, but it's just kind of like overpass conversation. We then move to the police station where a woman is reading one of those tabloids that tell of weird stuff. One that we had growing up was called The Inquirer. And it always had crazy stuff on the cover like Bat Boy or the president meeting with aliens and stuff like that. Do they still have those?
I had,
ever seen those
believe
things?
it or not, Ridley's, believe it or not.
Wrigley.
Wrigley.
It's like the Ridley or Wrigley?
I think it's Wrigley. Or Ridley. Hold on, I can look it up.
I think it's Wrigley's.
Ridley, believe it. It's Ripley.
So we're
Ripley.
so we're both wrong.
I was closer.
Okay, that's fair. So,
But Ripley's Believe It or Not. They
Yeah.
even had a TV show for a little while or something like that.
but this was fun because you always had to wait in line at for the grocery store, and this gave you something to do while waiting in line. You just pick up the tabloid and just read this crazy stuff, and it's just like I
I
said,
wasn't allowed to touch things.
no, you're not. But I was.
No.
So it was like, like there'd be pictures of like Bill Clinton shaking an alien's hand and stuff like that, or like Bat Boy, like the boy that's half bat,
So
half
just
boy.
memes.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yes.
Mm.
And it's fun stuff like that. Yeah, the Inquirer, and I don't remember what the other one was called. Something with an E, I think.
Ripley's?
But no, not Ripley's. Not Wrigley's, not Ripley's, and not Wrigley's.
No, I was never a big magazine person.
You would have been for this. This would have been fun for you.
Well, I was scared in 10th grade because we had a teacher for English, because I'm an AP. And she was like, it was this big assignment. She wanted us to get like certain words out of these magazines.
Yeah.
And there were kids bringing in hundreds of magazines to find these words. And I'm sitting here like, we don't have magazines in my house. What do I do? Because I don't want to go buy any magazines.
No.
So, of course, I just skimped off my friends.
Yeah.
They brought in their magazines. They were done with theirs. I was like, don't mind if I do. I just took it. Man, that was such a stressful assignment.
That's the way to
Because she
do
didn't really give good, there wasn't really good instructions. So we were sitting there like, we're all going to fail this.
I literally had teachers who also would have like, bring in a news article. And I'm like, it had to apply to the class in some way. And like, I would bring something in and the teachers were, well, it doesn't really apply to the class. Look, I took the time to cut this out. My dad's not happy. I cut this out. He didn't read this. And I cut this out the stinking newspaper. He's not thrilled with me. You better give me at least 5%. I mean, give me something.
Oh my gosh, not even 5%.
Well, 5 points extra credit, which is really important for a kid like me. Like I'd have like a D.
Of course.
But with all the extra credit I would turn in, you're talking like B+.
That's how I was in history last year.
Yeah.
I had a D, but I went to those 2 movie sighting things that he had. You remember? I was all like,
Oh, yeah.
let me get a ride and we'll go watch
Yep.
this movie. We ended up watching that one, something rabbit, and then another one. That
Watership Down?
No.
Oh.
The rabbit was in the title. It's new. It was about that kid.
Run, Rabbit, Run?
No, it's like,
Oh. Go, dog, go.
it literally came out like last year.
I don't know.
Well, obviously you don't, but JoJo's Rabbit, that's what it's called.
Oh.
Yes, it was really good. But I got like 20 points extra credit from that, and I got a B, and now I get the governor's seal or something like that. It's like some kind of seal I just got from that.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, if I get a B or above in history this year in my government class, I get the seal on my diploma.
That's really
So
neat.
good on me for going to that
Cool.
movie.
And there you go. See, when you apply yourself, things work out.
Oh, I have to turn in that sheet. No, I did turn in the sheet.
Oh, that's not applicable.
Okay, sorry.
What we're talking.
Well, I had to get it signed.
Oh, I
I brought
that.
it home. No, you didn't. Mom did.
Oh.
That's not applicable.
So,
Yeah.
apparently, the Charlie that the family was looking for is sleeping it off, being drunk in a cell at the police station. He keeps talking about how they're coming. He says he gets messages on his teeth ever since he got fillings or something like that.
Which is a reference to when people would say that they got messages from like outer space or God through their the tin,
Yeah.
or the radio, because they would pick up signals.
Yeah, that's
what
weird,
it was.
isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I can't. That would really make me mad.
It would stress me out. But I feel like you would pick it up easy if it's all like, "Okay, 9012, back at you. Here's
Yeah, I don't want that either.
Biggie G." I don't know.
PG. So Jeff, the deputy, radios in at the same time to say that he is signing off for the night. So to let you know, I guess that he's the night.
guy
I
was
guess that's why
trash.
that was important. The sheriff tells Charlie to go to the work at Jay's and forget about the Martian stuff. Meanwhile, in space, the bounty hunters receive information about the planet that the critters are probably headed to. Of course, it's Earth. So one of the bounty hunters' faces starts to melt and Foreman takes the form of a singer named Johnny Steele.
That's because he was like, pick a face that you like, is what they were doing.
Right.
Which was interesting to note because his partner kept changing faces because he didn't like them.
Yeah, he kept saying, I can't find one that sticks or something like that, or that won't take or whatever. So, yeah, it was interesting.
It was cool to see that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I also like that they were showing the history and future, or not future, history
and present.
Yeah. Of Earth.
Yep. It was really neat.
It was really cool that they were trying to learn how to act.
Yeah. So apparently, one of their abilities is shapeshifting. Jay is working on his truck, and Charlie is supposed to be helping him, but Charlie is hanging out with Brad playing with homemade fireworks, which I'm like, wow.
They're farmers,
Kid makes
man.
Fireworks.
They are farmers. You cannot trust farmers.
Jay, the dad, comes and gives Charlie and Brad a bit of heck, and then Steve pulls up in his nice car with April to drop her off. No. Just saying, no. No, you don't, Fast Steve. You get out of here with your nice car from New York.
He's coming to stay from dinner.
That was weird. Charlie is working
They're
on
farmers.
fixing... It was weird.
It's how it is. You get this nice, wholesome family. Oh, bring on Steve home for dinner now.
I guess.
Right.
They have a
Pulls
lot
up
of
in
corn.
his
Porsche. I'm not fighting with you on that. It's Porsche, not Porsche. Charlie is working on fixing Brad's slingshot and shot April in the butt instead of the can that he was aiming at. April chases Brad into the house, and Jay gives Brad a ration since he's taking the heat for Charlie because he didn't want to get Charlie. Because I guess, do you think Charlie's a little simple or just drunk? What do you think his deal is?
I think he's a prophet.
Oh. Well.
He knows about the Martians and the aliens, and he's a farmer. He is a farmer.
So Brad gets sent to his room with no supper.
If you're a farmer, I don't trust you.
Oh, wow.
You have nothing else to do but make corn.
Yeah.
So you sit around your house all day, think about aliens and such.
Yeah.
Farming corn.
I guess that's fair.
I don't trust you.
So that night, everyone is eating dinner, including Steve, but of course not Brad, because he got sent to his room with no supper. April and Steve leave to go for a ride while Jay talks about having a bowling tournament. April pretty much drives the car to the barn and then turns it off. And I was like, oh.
How far is the barn?
Not that far.
Yeah, I thought it was actually weird that they got in the car because later on, when Brad goes out to get her,
yeah,
it's like 2 steps away from the house.
Literally right across the yard.
So I don't really understand that. But I thought it was nice that he took the fall for Charlie.
I thought it was nice. Yes. Because he keeps just taking the fall for him.
That's why I was like, okay, so you're an okay kid.
Yeah. So April gets Steve to go into the barn with her because it's romantic. Brad sees the whole thing from his room, and then his dad brings him dinner. The dad says, your mom made the plate up for you. Like, you could have just said it was from you. It's okay, bro.
When you were... That was nice, yeah. It looked like a good plate of food, too.
Right.
Like, they were eating good.
They were eating good.
Oh, man. I'm so hungry.
What were you going to ask me? When I was what?
When you were younger, and you saw, like, hay, did you think it was soft?
Man, hay is misleading.
Yes. We were on a field trip. I can't remember when. We went to a farm.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I hate farms. And... it was like touched animals or some stupid stuff like that. I can't remember, but we were like 5th graders. And then they were like, here's some hay. And they're like, go ahead and touch it. Like little jerks that they are.
Yeah.
We're farmers. We know that it sucks, so go touch it. And it hurt.
Yeah.
And that is not comfortable.
Not just that, but like when you go like on haunted hay rides or something like that, and you sit on the hay, and the hay is so too. Uncomfortable.
Didn't we do that
and
for the...
And it's wet and yuck, and it's just so not... Hay is not my deal, man.
For that one place, though, they do like the Hollow Scream stuff.
Yeah.
Busch Gardens.
Yeah, I don't think that we did it there, but we did it at another place where there was a hay ride that we went on, and it sucked. Yeah. Yeah, and it was wet, and it was just, and there were bugs in it, and I was just like, yeah, guess where I don't want to be? On this hay.
Yeah, I know. So.
Yuck. So, the dad asks about the slingshot and confiscates it for 2 weeks. Tells him, what does he say? He can't listen to music, or he can't do something else for 2 weeks either?
He can't.
No movies.
Movies.
Yep. So he takes him off movie and takes a slingshot. Meanwhile, April and Steve are fooling around in the barn, and Brad is sneaking around on the roof of the house. I don't know where he was going, but he was going somewhere at that point in time. We then see the stolen spacecraft.
Well, he had his fireworks with him. Did you notice?
Yeah, I think he was just going to just screw around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing what kids do on farms.
Yep. Blow stuff up.
Mischief.
Yep. So the stolen spacecraft flies down and over Charlie, who freaks out when he sees it and drops his bottle of booze that he has.
I like that. I like that the stereotype that's going on here.
In what way?
Farm.
Just with the people,
aliens, you mean? Aliens on farms. The UFO sightings. Farms.
Okay.
That stereotype.
I didn't know which one you meant.
That one.
Okay.
What other ones are there that you saw?
I didn't know if you meant like the people like being on farms and being like simple, or you're just saying farm folk and aliens. Gotcha.
Yes. I didn't think the farmers were simple.
I didn't either. I didn't know what you were saying. That's why I asked. Jeez, mean.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Just asking questions.
So Brad and Jay both see the stolen aircraft fly by, and the TV starts to go wonky. The mom's like, "Yeah, the TV's going out." I'm like, "Just chill." That's why you got to get cable. The whole house.
On a farm?
Yeah, not at that time, right? I know. The whole house starts to shake.
I don't think you're gonna get that far out on the farms. There's nothing around there.
No, I think most of them use what do you call that? Satellite.
Satellite. Yep.
Yeah, or Dish TV. Woo.
Geico.
Geico
That's
is
not Geico. What's the one with the lizard?
That's Geico.
Oh.
But that's not Dish TV. That's weird, man.
I don't know what I'm thinking of.
Yes. So the whole house starts to shake as the aircraft lands. Jay goes to investigate and finds Brad in a tree. And then they go off to investigate further.
I think it's an important scene, though.
You look like you've done this before.
Right, that's an important line.
It was. And he's like, yeah, I have. And then they're just like, all right, well, let's go investigate.
The tree's important.
So we then hear weird chattering from the spaceship, which is the critters talking about looking for food. Jay and Brad discover a cow that looks to have been gutted.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah. And they take off back during the house. And I liked that the dad wasn't like, oh, we need to investigate further. He was like,
something's bad out here.
I don't know how we're going to have to tell your mom about this, but...
that's that farmer intuition.
Yeah. So we then see the critters have landed in a field next to their house. So it would seem that they're responsible for the cow. That's not implied at that point in time until you see that the spaceship is like right there. And it's like, oh, okay. I guess they mutilated the cow. The night deputy is then driving along and calls into dispatch to report in. He sees something roll across the street and swerves to miss it, crashing the car. He gets out to look and hears noises thinking it's a dog. And he's like, woof, woof, bark, bark. Yeah, he's like, what's he going to do to the dog? Because he's like angry with it. But instead of finding a dog, he gets shot in the leg with a spike and then drug under the car, looking to be eaten.
What can you do?
I guess get eaten.
He's having a terrible life, this man. He's getting rejected at work from the lady.
Yeah, he is. He keeps sitting on her all lamely. Let's get some dinner.
From a
some donuts.
I'd say yes.
Yeah, you had me a donut.
Yeah.
So we then get a sweet view from the critter's point of view, scaring the cat and causing the mom to drop and break a dish. The mom looks out the window and sees red glowing eyes and then backs into Jay, who investigates the eyes and finds nothing. They're like, oh, maybe it was Chewy, the cat. I'm like,
hey, what a crap name.
Yeah.
For a cat. Chewy.
I think like Chewbacca.
That's what I was thinking. But then I was like, eh.
You didn't want to give it to him?
No. Well, I mean, it's just not a good name.
Yeah. So, meanwhile, the bounty hunters land, and the one that has transformed already tells the other to do the same. They see the cow that has been eaten and realize that the feeding has begun. So, bad news. We then see the critters are surrounding the family house and somehow knew to cut the phone lines. They also take out the electricity, so even though they're little, they're not dumb.
No, they're very smart creatures.
Yeah. Jay goes to investigate and finds the power and phone sabotaged. He continues to look around and ends up almost getting bitten by one critter in the hand. And then he gets attacked by another critter that gets him on his neck. So,
you could like onion it.
Yeah.
And say that the critters knew to cut the power lines because where they come from, they have stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you could just be thinking about the space part of it as well.
Yeah.
To connect it a little bit back.
Well, I mean, they clearly flew a spaceship, so good job by them.
They know what they're doing. So.
Yeah. You think they cut the power in the phone lines to draw the people in there so that way they'd be easier to attack? Maybe?
I think they cut the power in the phone line so they wouldn't call for help.
Yeah.
I think they come from like a civilization of little critter world.
Yeah.
And the people descended on them to get them. So
then,
maybe they're like, sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Maybe they came to get the critters for like a zoo on their land.
Yeah.
Be like, ha, like zebras.
There's a lot different than zebras, man. I've been to the zoo and
an
none of them try to
example.
eat me.
I feel like if you got in the cage with them, a lot of them would try to eat you.
Zebras, man-eating zebras.
Not zebras, but other animals.
Like,
is what I meant. Like maybe the lions.
The lion, tigers, absolutely, they're going to try and eat you. Your meat.
Gators.
Yeah. I mean, so fair. You know, if lions went to another world, they're going to try and survive. They're going to find meat.
Yes. Right. Imagine lions flying a UFO and then descending on a world and being like, I'm hungry. Time to go out.
Right. What are they going to do? They're going to eat.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So one of the critters also gets Jay on the leg. And he also gets shot by a spike. But Helen and Brad pull him up to safety and shut the basement doors.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart. I like that he was like, don't come down here.
I do too. Even when he was being roughed up, he was like, don't come down here.
Right.
So.
He looked like he was that was it for him.
I thought it was. Yeah. So the bounty hunters find the crashed cop car as well as the dead cop. The second bounty hunter takes the form of the dead cop, and they fiddle around with the car until they get it moving.
And
like,
you know
they break
what?
a whole bunch of stuff.
I like that he kept like the injuries of him too. So it's not like they just like not like in The Thing, where it sees it and it becomes it and has like the memories of it and everything like we had discussed.
Yeah.
It actually just sees it like a chameleon.
Yeah.
It just takes the form.
I also thought you would appreciate this part that they get into a car and they don't just automatically know how to make it work.
Yeah, that too. They were like they were roughing it up too.
They broke a lot of stuff before he finally got it going.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was that the first way he got it going was just backwards. So he literally drove backwards
Yeah.
And then when it started going forward after they mess up the church, he's like, oh, it goes forward too. Like I liked that. It wasn't just an automatic no thing. So I give that to this movie.
I do give it to the movie as well.
We find that Helen has patched up Jay and that he is doing better. He says that he's getting his feeling back from where he was numb from where he got hit with the spike thing. So that's good.
That thing that like messes you up. Like they get shot in the neck later on, and then it's all puffy and the skin's all gross. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I wouldn't be recovering from it.
Yeah. We then find Steve and April in the barn, and Steve gets eaten by the critters.
Yeah.
Yeah, he reaches up to touch the radio, and his fingers get bitten off, and it's like, ew, gross.
Didn't really feel that bad for Steve.
Nah, I didn't either. I was like, whatever. Brad runs in to help April, who is screaming and being attacked by the critters. Brad throws a firecracker, or an M80, I think is what it is, at one of the critters who eats it and then seems to die.
Yeah.
You see his body kind of go poof, and then smoke comes out his mouth, and he just goes and falls over. Charlie shows up looking for Harvey to tell him about the alien. Harvey's the sheriff, but he's not there. We then see a church, and the bounty hunters crash into it, saying they are there for the Krites. Now, I have to say that because that's what they say. We're here for the Krites. The second bounty hunter starts to morph and ends up taking on the form of the preacher. And that would freak me out, man. Could you imagine if all of a sudden someone's just sitting there looking at you, and you're like, hey, what are you? And then all of a sudden they're you. You'd be like, not me, bro.
It would mess with me. I'd be all like, oh, there's another me out there forever.
Yeah.
Because the preacher didn't know they changed again.
Nope.
So.
Nope. They kind of shoot up the place a bit and then leave out. So then we find that the family is huddled in the living room, and Jay is saying that it's only a matter of time before they get in. So Jay decides it's best if they try to leave, which that's smart. I can appreciate that.
Yes. There was good thinking. There were a lot of good reactions in this movie.
Yeah. And not just the typical, we have to try and hide. No, man. He's like, look, we need to get to safety.
Yeah.
Get to the car. So they make it to the truck, but it's all destroyed. April says she still has Steve's keys, so they go to the car and find the critter inside is eating it and getting bigger. So that's
I thought it was weird because it was like they could just eat whatever.
Yeah, they could eat, but it didn't matter.
Are they like goats?
They definitely want meat, but they can eat whatever. That's their main
scary
thing. Well, they have little arms, so.
Oh, true. I got a big head and little arms. Dinosaurs.
Yeah, rip.
Gosh.
They run to the house being chased by the critters, but the door is locked. A critter drops down on Jay and starts to eat him in the same spot that he was getting eaten before.
I kind of want to appreciate this scene a little bit more when they're rolling up over and they're like bumping into the fence.
Yeah.
It was really cute.
Yeah.
I was like, aw. And then it jumps down and gets on him again. And so I think this is when I actually fell in love with them.
Yeah.
Because I said, oh, they're actually kind of cute.
Yeah.
Because it falls on them and it's all...
Yeah, Helen knocks that one off.
It was like a... Oh, you know those caterpillars?
Yeah.
They're like fuzzy black caterpillars, yeah. And they're small and round like that. And they're a circular shape. And they fall on you. Or like sea urchins.
Yeah, that's fair.
All good examples.
All good examples.
I really like sea urchins. Those are also really cute.
So, yeah, they do. Brad decides to go and climb up the tree through his room to unlock the front door while Helen attempts to shoot the critters. At first, she has no ammo, but then gets some from Jay, and she does manage to shoot one of the critters. And that part right there is probably one of the... If you're going to ask me what my favorite part is...
Yes, this is my favorite part.
Oh, they have weapons. He's like, so what? And then and he's all, F!
Yeah.
He pieces out, man. He just rolls.
Says the F-bomb. He just looks over at it and it's all exploded and says, nope.
Nope.
I love these things.
Yeah, that part right there.
They're so good. This is where I was like, okay, I'm rooting for the little critters to win because this is it. This is it, man. They're great. I mean, they have to have some kind of culture on their land.
Right. Right. They're not just... they're evil.
They're evil. Well, are they evil?
I'm sorry. I don't mean evil. They're hungry.
They're hungry.
And they're mischievous.
Yes.
As we'll see with a part coming up. But they're not necessarily evil.
I can't imagine they're good things, though, because, I mean, the people who are after them...
Yeah, they're in jail.
They're in jail, so they obviously did something bad.
So Charlie is at the bowling alley getting drunk, and the bounty hunters show up there. The main hunter takes a ball and chucks it down at the pins, just destroying them. And everybody's all like, oh.
Yeah, I thought it was weird. This scene, I didn't really like.
Yeah.
I didn't like the scenes with the bounty hunters. I didn't like what they were doing. They went to the bowling alley and then to the church, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Gotcha.
I didn't like a lot of their actions, and they were like, I guess you needed to go to the bowling alley for Charlie to see.
Yeah.
And then he takes Charlie's identity, and they were all flashy, and they were all like, I'm going to shoot it up.
Well, the only thing I figure is that they're kind of tracing their footsteps because they see the cop, but then I don't know why nobody went to the bowling alley except for Charlie, but maybe because Charlie had I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, they hear the gunfire from the show that Charlie is watching and go to the bar. They ask the bartender for the Krites, but he's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Meanwhile, the second bounty hunter takes the form of Charlie, and this one seems to take. He seems to actually like that one. So, dispatch calls the sheriff to tell him of what happened at the church, and he says give him 10 minutes. We then find that Jay is looking pretty rough, and Helen seems a bit distraught, I think. A little PTSD.
Which is, acceptable.
Yeah, that's a fair response to this situation.
Yep.
They hear the critters trying to come down the chimney, and then one comes through the window and shoots Helen in the neck with the spike.
Yeah.
The family goes upstairs to escape, but they forget the shotgun, so Brad goes back for it. He goes to shoot one of the critters, but slips and ends up shooting the fan, causing it to fall on the critter. And
which squishes
it. So, he manages to make it upstairs while the critters are following him. He sets one on fire that rolls into the toilet to put itself out. And the other one's sitting there watching it.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
I like that it rolled into the toilet, and when it was in the water, it was like,
yeah.
Relief.
But I just like the other one's all,
yeah.
Like the whole time it's burning and rolling towards
it's just really interesting to me. I mean, these things are looking at, like, these are like, if you were, it was like, if it was your family,
yeah, you're
sitting here, you're trying to eat dinner. It's like, imagine it was like steak and eggs.
Yeah.
It's just Fred. And you're trying to go eat them. And then he, like, catches me on fire, and I roll into the toilet, and you're all like, oh my gosh, freaking out. I mean, I would be screaming too. So it's really interesting to see that these things have legitimate reaction to their, like, friends and such getting hurt and, like, dying and such. It gives them personality and, like, it makes them tangible. Yeah.
Yeah. They're not just monsters.
They're just not monsters.
They actually have depth.
Yep. So I like that a lot. But I really liked the one that was in the toilet.
Yeah.
I like that it stayed in the toilet.
It did stay in there too. We then see Charlie trying to catch the bounty hunters while the sheriff talks to the churchgoers about what happened. Dispatch calls the sheriff from on the radio to tell him about what happened at the bowling alley. She also tells of shots being fired over at the Browns' house, so he decides that he's going to go over there, which I thought, that's cool. We then find that the family is talking about someone going for help, and they decide that Brad is going to take off on his bike to get to the next farm to call for help. So, because they don't know the sheriff's coming, obviously.
Right. And you can't just stay there because they're coming through the windows and
right.
such. So.
Something's got to be done. April and Brad have a bit of a touchy moment because she's all, be careful, or see you soon, or something like that. And then Brad heads out. He makes it to his bike, but one of the Kreis is standing there with his bike as he runs
throws it over. He like pushes
goes,
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw crappy.
And I appreciate that because they're not I mean, that's kind of jerkish.
It makes it think like they're like listening in on them talking and understands them. And they're like, okay, well,
Right. Hey, here's your bike, buddy. And he pushes it at him.
Yeah.
So he also witnesses one of the critters getting bigger. And so that can't be good. Because it just, it doesn't just double in size. It like quadruples in size.
It gets really,
The family is making makeshift weapons like flamethrowers with aerosol cans, which I thought was actually kind of cool. They're using what they have at their means to try and to fight, even though he never really uses it, but they know that fire actually gets these things going. So,
right.
You got to do what you got to, with you, I guess. So meanwhile, the critters tear up the house for no reason other than being jerks. And that's when they have the ET part and everything like that. I'm like, they're just tearing up his pillows and everything. It was funny.
That. It was really cute because they're like, the pillows are going everywhere. It looks like they're having like a pillow fight and they're all like, rah, 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 rah. And then he's touching the ET and he's like, hello, where are you from? And it doesn't respond. And it's just like looking at him all dumb-faced. And he's all like, he just bites and starts eating it.
But I guess my whole point is that they're there to eat. Why you gotta rough up the house?
Well, you could have been like, maybe they're eating the house, like the goat, like the whole goat thing.
I guess, man, but they're just tearing through it.
Yeah, they were kind of just roughing it up.
So Brad makes it to the highway and runs into the bounty hunters. So he tells them where the critters are and takes them to his house. The big critter starts to come into the window, like reaching in and everything like that. And it gets April for a second, and Helen shoots.
Big critter.
Yeah.
Big critter.
Oh, and then the dad burns the hand.
Yes.
That's when he uses that. That's right. And Helen shoots one of the critters through the door. It's like,
it explodes. Yeah, it's all juicy on the side of the wall.
They hear the mega critter getting in as well as they start to make their way back down the hall. Helen is about to whack one of the critters with the gun because she's out of bullets when the bounty hunters show up and start blowing the house all to hell.
Definitely gonna need to move once this is all over.
So they are escaping, but Brad decides he has to go back for the cat for whatever reason. Which I'm like, there's not a reason to go back. You get in the car and you leave, but whatever. But he's like, Chewy! And he goes back for him. The sheriff shows up.
You've never had a pet that you would do that for?
Look, I have pets that I would do that kind of stuff for, but I'm not going to do that for you.
That's crappy.
Dude, when they got man-eating little alien things that shoot spikes that make you all numb and kill you, I'm not going to go running all the way back upstairs. No, I'm sorry.
Chewy.
Stop.
Mew, mew, mew.
Yeah, mew, mew, mew.
It got eat a lot. Kept me out throughout the entire movie.
It did. So, the sheriff shows up and tells them all to get in the car while he goes in to investigate. The bounty hunters continue to shoot up the house looking for critters. And finds the one in the toilet it's trying to go down the tube.
Trying to go down it,
they blows it all to heck. The second bounty hunter comes downstairs looking like Charlie and throws the sheriff through the window. Which didn't seem necessary, but I guess you got to do what you got to do. Brad is still looking for the cat Chewy and finds it, but also finds the mega critter. It's about to eat him when the first bounty hunter comes and shoots at it, causing it to roll out the window. He doesn't actually kill it at that point in time. As it did, apparently it grabbed April and rolls off. Which I didn't,
It's got long arms.
Yeah, it does. The arms get longer as they get bigger. So Now April's been taken by this mega one. So Brad takes off on his bike after April. While there's a funny scene with the bounty hunters, they get in their car and it won't start. So they look over at the sheriff and the sheriff's looking back at them and they just get out of the car and then they get in the car with them and just scoot him into the middle. I was like, ha 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 ha. That was funny to me.
It was cool. It was cool.
Brad is riding after April and Charlie runs into him on his bike, like smack into him. I was like, how did you not see him? But whatever. They locate the spacecraft where April is being dragged up by the ramp up by one of the mega critters. And Brad goes into the spaceship to locate April. A shout out to the really crappy little April doll that was being dragged up the ramp.
Yeah, for real. It looked really
bad.
Oh,
just looked like a dumb. I was like, you couldn't even put somebody real there for that. But no.
$2 million.
$2 million. Hey, they made 18. So almost 18. So I guess you take what you take.
Take what you take.
Brad decides that he is going to blow the ship up with a giant firecracker, but a critter comes after him, causing him to drop it. He, Charlie, and April escape the ship, but Charlie has an idea. He lights a rag on fire and puts it in a bottle of booze and chucks it into the ship, lighting the firecracker. The ship takes off and blows up the house like jerks.
Oh, yeah. That was really funny, though.
I was like, are you kidding? I mean, I thought it was great that they're leaving. They're like, piss on you. I'm going to blow your house up. And just as a final, poo on you, we're blowing your house up. I love these really things, man. Liked that. I thought it was funny that they had that kind of jerkness to them.
They're great.
Yeah. But then the firecracker goes off inside the ship, causing it to blow up as well. So the family and everybody returns, and Helen is quite distraught. But the family is safe. So
R.I.P. in the chat for the critters.
Oh, sorry.
Because they're all dead now.
Yeah.
Really sad.
All those ones are dead.
All those. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. There could be more.
Brad says thank you to the bounty hunters, and the main one gives him some kind of communication device telling him to call him. They then walk off and Charlie is talking to them, like following after them, saying whatever he's saying. The sheriff drives the family back to their destroyed house, and we find that the cat is okay. So that's important.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I'm like, house destroyed, cat's still good.
Chewie's okay.
Thank God, after he went in there after it.
Right. He's in the mailbox.
Yeah. The device that Brad was given starts to beep, and he presses a button on it. And when he does, the house starts to reverse blow up and is put back together again, complete with a cat in the mailbox.
Yeah.
I like it because it gets sucked off. It's all, and he's all chewy.
I enjoyed that.
So,
yeah.
I'm like, how did you film that? Because the cat had to have been pulled off screen. String on the cat. So, they see the bounty hunters fly off and everything seems right again. That is until the camera pans to the chicken coop and we see that there were eggs laid.
Yes.
And then we fade to black.
Which is really funny.
So,
well, good thing he has the things we can call them.
Exactly. And that's how part 2 is.
Oh.
So, and if you enjoyed this one, I think you would really enjoy part 2 because part 2, there was some parts I was getting mixed up between the two movies. And there's some parts I think that you would find really, like, you would be like laughing at.
Worth the watch?
With the critters. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, part 1 and part 2 definitely. Like I said, I can't speak for part 3. I know Leonardo DiCaprio's in it, which was a big thing or whatever.
Well, he didn't win the Emmy for it.
No, he did not. And I didn't see part 3. I didn't see part 4. And I didn't watch the remake. I'd assume they're all the same thing where it's the critters being jerks and making funny comments. So if you like that, you should like those movies.
Did Charlie go with them?
Not in this one.
Okay.
No. He just followed after them because I actually explicitly watched that. He actually is in the car with them when they're coming back.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I wasn't sure.
Yep, not in this one. No, he does not. So, overall thoughts on the film and the experience?
I said it was a pretty okay movie, and I was rooting for the critters. I thoroughly enjoyed watching this.
Just a fun movie.
It was a fun movie.
Yeah.
And I've said that multiple times that I'm not really big on the comedy movies.
Yeah.
And this being a horror one as well, I'm usually expecting more boo scooey, but I really liked this movie. It was really funny. It was really good.
Yeah.
And they looked scary.
Yeah. Well, the
They were
the idea of them, and I guess it's again for the times wise in the 80s when you didn't have cell phones, you didn't have internet,
And a lot
you
of
didn't
us
have this.
are on farms during this time.
Right, you're just stuck out in the middle of nowhere, and you've got these things that are trying to kill and eat you. I mean, that's scary.
Yeah. I don't know. I think after watching, as a child, Courage the Cowardly Dog, it really ruined a lot of this stuff.
Yeah,
for
I'm
me.
going to tell you what, Courage the Cowardly Dog
was a terrifying show.
had some terrifying
It was scary.
episodes. That is no
I can't
joke.
watch, like,
What's
even
the
at this
one-
age.
The one with the spirit of whatever it is or whatever.
Oh, yeah, it's on the
mummy.
pole or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that. I don't like that. The one that always gets me is Uncle Bob. Because he comes in and he's all like, I'm your Uncle Courage.
Yeah.
And he's all yellow and he got yellow eyes. And
Horrible things.
Horrible. He's scary.
Yep.
And at the end, he's all tied up because they take him away to the shelter and he's all... And he's still speaking?
Yes. And
No,
and just the stuff that happens and like it's happening in like the old man will be in like in an egg sack because the thing's laid eggs in him or something like that. And you're just like...
And he's all like, that darn dog, this is your fault.
Yeah.
And it's all stupid.
Oh,
No, I can't watch that
Yeah.
show. It messes with my brain.
I
Even at this age.
100% agree with that.
So
that statement.
That's why a lot of these like farm movies, they
I
don't
guess
really do it for me.
You
because-
watch this and it's nothing compared
Yeah.
to freaking Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's not fake.
No.
That's a real statement.
I mean,
How many moves would you give Critters?
I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Wow, really?
I really, really like this movie. I really want one. I want one of them.
I 3.5 for me.
Put them up. Oh, really?
So you actually beat me on the rating for it.
I liked it a lot.
I like the movie. It's a good
I'm
movie.
soft for the critters. I want one that's like baby size. I want one the size it is, and I want it to be soft.
Kind of like my Gizmo.
Yeah.
But that size.
Yeah. I want to put them on our desk here. In the
That's
corner
fair.
here.
So it can sit and look at you.
Oh, that'd be cool. To get little mementos from the movies that we like.
Yeah.
And then collect them on the side. So, like, if you like a movie more than I have, and then we could look back on it and see that you have a lot more than I do, or stuff like that.
I'll have a Kurt Russell statue.
Oh, geez. Like a life-size little thing of those? People make the cardboard cutouts?
Yeah.
People make them.
No, that's
I don't want that.
That would scare the heck out of me in the 3 a.m. when I'm putting the dogs out. I come around the corner and stinking Kurt Russell standing there.
Man,
No.
who was favorite character?
You know what? My favorite character, and you're probably going to say the same, are the critters.
It's the critters for me. That one
Critters, hands down. You can't go wrong with just comedy relief type stuff where they're trying to kill, but they're funny. And they made me laugh. And I think that's probably one of the only things that saved me when I was a kid watching this stuff is that
they were funny.
That they were funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise I would just be completely terrified, pee pants. So,
least favorite character.
you know what? In this one, the bounty hunters.
Yeah.
And it's
fair.
really hard to say that because at my job and everything like that, the Power of the Night song and everything like that, and Johnny Steele, like we quote them and we make and everything like that, and he's one. But I didn't realize how useless they really were overall in the. You know, they showed up and distracted the big one and everything like that, so they did do something. But literally, they just come and destroy the house up real bad, and it's actually Brad and Charlie and them that destroy the critters. It's not really even the bounty hunters. So the bounty hunters are going to get credit for that.
That's fair.
When they really shouldn't. So that's kind of like...
I don't know. They wouldn't be my least favorite character because of that, though. I mean,
Yeah.
because they still had like the interesting parts, like with the car and with the car.
Okay.
But I can understand that.
Is it the dad?
It was April.
April.
And why she was lame.
She did seem relatively
She didn't really she didn't
unnecessary
have any
to it,
parts.
other than to be the reason why he went chasing it after at the end.
So
Yeah, I give you, and got Steve killed.
favorite scene. Yeah.
Favorite scene 100% is when they have weapons. So what?
Favorite critter.
the one screaming on the stairs because it was just so animated.
Mine's the one in the toilet.
Okay, so mine's the one watching yours roll by because it was just the whole time and it's sitting there shaking and stuff like that. And I just thought that was hilarious.
Oh man.
So definitely a fun movie.
Yeah.
I don't, if it was on and I would watch it.
I would watch
it. It's not something that I like. If it's on and something else is on, chances are I'm going to just leave it on this channel because it's interesting to me and I can watch it again and again. It doesn't bother me that way. So cool. Some trivia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a whole bunch for it. Terrence Mann, who played Ugg, who is the bounty hunter one, the first one to change into Johnny Steele. He actually performed the song "Power of the Night" as Johnny Steele, especially for this movie.
Cool.
So I thought that was pretty
good.
He does. Charles Chiodo, based, of course, the Chiodo brothers, the ones who did the Killer Clowns from Outer Space and everything like that, who made the critters. He based the design of the critters on the Looney Tune characters Taz from the Tasmanian Devil. You know that it's
yes,
the Tasmanian Devil.
I've never seen it.
Yep. So, well, you know who,
but
he
I know
is.
who it is. Yeah.
So that same body form and everything like that, like it makes sense if you think. So that's what they're with the big mouths and blah 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 blah. So I hope that helped you when I made the noise.
I think the critters are cuter.
I think so too. Yeah. The logo on the back of the bowling uniforms is a parody of the iconic Ghostbusters emblem.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought it was cute.
Yep.
Little things like that.
Yep. Even the color of the uniform matches the uniform that they use in the real Ghostbusters animated series. So get that really light blue and everything like that. So, and they did some nods to move. They did the nod to E.T. with E.T. getting eaten. Yep. They did that with the Ghostbusters. And I mean, there's a nod to Gremlins, I guess, in the function of the Gremlins did. But this story was written before. So the script and everything like this for this movie was written before Gremlins came out. So that's why the guy that he says, no, it's not a Gremlins knockoff. And honestly, I don't think it is.
No, I don't think so either.
In watching Gremlins, I mean, Gremlins is about its premise, and I think your lesson that you're supposed to learn from Gremlins is very different than the lesson you learn from in Critters. To me,
I mean, and also the Gremlins are cuter. I mean, like they're meant to be cute,
right?
So
soft and furry and nice little mugwise and everything like that, and then they turn into horrible things. But
the critters are just horrible things.
All right, and
they're cute like that.
Yep. So that's what I've got for trivia. Not a whole bunch tonight. So
kind of a short movie.
It's a fast movie. It was an hour and a half, which is standard.
Yeah.
Your standard movie,
but it flowed well.
It tells the story fine. It flows along. It doesn't play around, and it doesn't overtell itself.
No.
It just is a very simple movie, and I like that. So, anything else?
No, that's all for me.
All right, we're going to wrap this one up tonight. I'd like to thank everyone for stopping by and listening to our 27th episode. We do deeply, deeply appreciate it, more than you could imagine. Of course, the best way to say that you love us is to give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Haven't gotten any reviews in a while, but we're getting a lot more listens. So if you can take the time to just go over there on iTunes and just give us a review.
Helps a lot.
I would really appreciate it. It does help us on getting out there new and noteworthy and all that jazz, moving up on the charts. And we appreciate you listening. It's much more important that people listen.
Oh, yeah.
Than to do anything else, because that's what we're doing this for, to entertain and to give everybody, some time out of their day to just forget about the world and laugh and relax. But, if you could take the time to do the review, it'd be great. You can email us at the yesteryearpodcast@gmail.com. Been getting some emails from some past episode stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's
good
been really funny.
Any good?
Yeah, just, like about the, oh, now my mind just went blank. Just about the elevator, like what the blood represents.
Oh, yeah. A lot of angry people with that one.
In the shot.
People were not happy with me. It's fine.
That's fair.
It's fine.
But yeah, so just keep emailing us, man. Email us whatever you want to. I don't care. I'll respond back, and we'll talk about it on the show if it's something that's applicable.
Still waiting on some ghost stories to read on air.
Yeah. We're
Really
kind of
want
running
some
out of
ghost stories.
time.
Running out of time. We have like one more episode.
Yeah, I think I might open that up on Facebook too. Twitter.com is Twitter is twitter.com/yesteryearpcast. Instagram is instagram.com/yesteryearpodcast. Facebook is facebook.com/yesteryearpodcast. We do have a private group, the Truffle Shufflers. Our secret question is the host names, James and Beth, and you do have to agree to the terms and conditions so that we can keep the group going. And we have gotten several new members. Okay. I've been
do you accept people so in. I never know when to accept people, because if they don't answer the questions of the security, I don't want to.
That's fair.
I'm like, I don't know who you are. Yeah. You don't know who we, so
no,
I don't know if you do or not.
I always look to see if they've answered the two things. We literally have two things you have to do: our names and accept terms for making sure that you're not going to say anything ridiculous in the group. That's not that much.
No.
Our website is theyesteryearpodcast.com, and that's new. Go check that out. You can listen to episodes through there. You can find our merch links through there. You can read about me and Beth on there if you want. We have a little bio page, and there's all kinds of stuff on there. It's fun.
I didn't know we had a bio page.
We do. We're fancy.
What's it say about us?
That we're fancy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You go in there and look.
I don't have the link.
theyesteryearpodcast.com.
Oh, is that really just it?
Yeah, but why would I say that's it? It's not it.
I don't know. Let me check it out.
Patreon is www.patreon.com/The Nostalgia Group. Shout out to Greg Revan for our intro and outro. And as always, we love you, and say goodnight, Beth.
Good night, everyone.
Say, I'm disturbed.
Welcome to Hysteria 51, a weekly oddcast of mysteries, conspiracies, the unusual, and the unexplained.
Do we have a laser thermometer to figure out if Admiral Byrd is here? I'm pointing the laser at the wall now. 71.1, 71.2. Admiral Byrd is here.
With John, Brent, and Conspiracy Bot.
You're all idiots.
Yeah. Join them each week as they clarify conspiracies.
I'm Stuart Swerdlow. I promise I am human and I do human things.
Explore enigmas.
It's all about ley lines, and you'd understand that if I could explain it to you.
And probe the paranormal. Hysteria 51 is a hilarious expedition into the eccentric.
Stop on my joke.
I will when they're good.
Tune in each week and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And remember, the truth is out there, but you won't find it here.
Stay woke, meet sex.